Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Path Store podcast. My name is Peter, and today we are going to practice something extremely useful for your daily English conversations. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever tried to explain your day in English, but suddenly forgot the words? Maybe you wanted to tell someone about your work, your routine, or something interesting that happened to you, but you didn't know how to organize your sentences. Don't worry, because today we are going to practice exactly that. In this episode, I will show you how to talk about your day naturally in English, using simple vocabulary and real-life expressions that native speakers use all the time. Imagine you are talking to a friend, a coworker, or even someone you just met. Being able to describe your day is one of the most important conversation skills in English, and by the end of this episode, you will feel much more confident doing it. So relax, listen carefully, and imagine that we are having a friendly conversation together. Morning routine. Let's start by talking about the morning, because that is where every day begins. When people ask about your day, many times they expect you to start with what happened in the morning. For example, you might say something like this: "Today started pretty early for me. I woke up around 6 in the morning because I had a lot of things to do. After waking up, I made a cup of coffee and spent a few minutes checking my phone and reading some messages. Then I prepared a quick breakfast and got ready for work." Sometimes mornings are calm and peaceful, but other times they can be very busy. Maybe you had to rush because you were late, or maybe you had time to enjoy a quiet moment before starting your day. When describing your morning, it's common to mention small details like drinking coffee, checking emails, taking a shower, or planning your tasks for the day. These little details make your story more natural and interesting for the person listening to you. Going to work or starting the day. After talking about your morning routine, you can continue the conversation by explaining how your day really started. Many people talk about their commute or how they began working. For example, you could say something like this: "After breakfast, I left home and went to work. The traffic was a little heavy today, so it took me longer than usual to arrive. When I finally got there, I started checking my tasks and preparing for the meetings I had scheduled." Sometimes the beginning of the day can feel a little stressful, especially if you have many responsibilities. But at the same time, it can also be exciting because every day brings new challenges and opportunities. Talking about work or school is one of the most common topics in everyday conversations, so it's very useful to practice describing what you do, what problems you solve, and what interesting things happen during your day. Small moments during the day. Now, let's talk about the small moments that happen during the day. These moments might seem simple, but they often make your story more engaging. For example, you might say something like this: "Around mid-morning, I took a short break and grabbed another cup of coffee. I talked with a coworker for a few minutes, and we discussed some ideas for a project we're working on." These small conversations are part of everyday life, and they help build relationships with people around you. Sometimes during the day, you might also face unexpected situations. Maybe you receive an important email, solve a difficult problem, or help someone with a task. When you share these details in English, it shows that you are comfortable expressing your thoughts and experiences in a natural way. Remember, conversations are not always about big events. Often, the most interesting stories come from the simple moments we experience every day. Lunchtime. Another common part of the day that people like to talk about is lunchtime. Food is always a great conversation topic. For example, you could say something like this: "Around noon, I took a break for lunch. Today, I decided to eat something simple, so I went to a small restaurant near my workplace. The food was really good, and it was nice to relax for a few minutes before returning to work." Lunchtime is also a moment when many people socialize. Maybe you eat with coworkers, friends, or classmates. You can talk about the food you ate, the place you went to, or the conversations you had during lunch. Even a simple lunch story can become a great opportunity to practice English and share your daily experiences. Afternoon activities. After lunch, the afternoon usually becomes the most productive part of the day. Many people focus on finishing their tasks, solving problems, or completing projects. When describing your afternoon, you might say something like this. After lunch, I returned to work and spent most of the afternoon focusing on an important project. It required a lot of concentration, but I felt really satisfied when I finally finished it. Sometimes afternoons can be very busy, with meetings, deadlines, and many things happening at the same time. Other times they can be calm and productive, allowing you to work peacefully and make good progress. When telling someone about your afternoon, you can describe the challenges you faced, the achievements you had, or even something funny that happened during the day. Evening time. As the day comes to an end, many people like to talk about their evening plans. This is another great part of the conversation. For example, you might say something like this. After finishing work, I went back home feeling a little tired, but also satisfied with everything I accomplished. In the evening, I usually like to relax, watch something interesting, or spend time with my family. Some people go to the gym, cook dinner, read a book, or simply enjoy a quiet moment at home. Evenings are often the time when we reflect on our day and think about what we did well and what we want to improve tomorrow. Sharing these thoughts in English can help you build deeper and more meaningful conversations. And that brings us to the end of today's episode, here on the English Path Store podcast. Today, we practiced how to talk about your day in English, from the moment you wake up in the morning to the time you relax in the evening. Remember, the key to improving your English is consistency. Try to practice describing your day every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. You can talk to a friend, record yourself speaking, or simply think about your day in English. Little by little, your confidence and fluency will grow. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode. Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep walking on your English path.